Have you ever wondered what separates the people who lose money during a crash from the ones who make generational wealth out of it? Why do some lose everything while others seem to print money from chaos? Because here's the one truth. Every major market crash in history has created more millionaires than any bull market ever did. And the one coming in 2026 to 2027 could be the biggest opportunity of your lifetime. The question isn't if a crash is coming, the question is, will you be ready to use it? In this video, I'll break down 3 things. Why a crash is forming in 2026, how to position yourself to buy near the bottom, and why crashes transfer wealth, not destroy it, and who it moves to. Now, quick disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. Everything I share here is only my personal opinion for education and entertainment purposes. Always do your own research before investing. Point 1. How a crash is forming in 2026. Now, firstly, one thing you need to understand is that crashes don't come out of nowhere. They form slowly, then happen fast. From first principles, every major crash needs 3 ingredients: excess leverage, slowing earnings growth, and hard financial conditions. These 3 were the conditions that triggered every financial crisis in the last 200 years. For example, 1929, 1999, and 2008. And right now, all 3 conditions are in place. Let's first look at ingredient number 1. Excess leverage. Right now, debt levels over GDP across different governments, households, and corporations are near record highs. And when debt is high, the margin of error is very low. That means the system is very fragile, where even small shocks or any small black swan events can force selling and a market crash. Let's look at ingredients number 2, slowing earnings growth. Now, at this very moment, we can also see the growth of earnings declining at first, flattening, and now going up a bit slowly. This is a very similar pattern to the GFC, and this is concerning because prices today are still priced for perfect growth, not stagnation. And most of these growth are due to the Fed cutting interest rates. And with the record level of debt we currently have, how long can the Fed keep supporting this? Ingredient number 3, hard financial conditions. Financial conditions are no longer as easy as the way they were in the 2010s. Rates are structurally higher, liquidity is less predictable, and refinancing debt is becoming more expensive. This does not cause a crash instantly. It creates pressure, and pressure eventually breaks something. However, if you look at the history and past decades of the market, one commonality of all crashes is rising interest rates. But this usually comes within 8 months before the crash. It could be less, it could be more. So what we might see is an eventual rate increase followed by a market peak. This is why I believe late 2026 is more likely to be a peak year, not necessarily when the crash will happen. So overall, from those 3 signals I just mentioned, this is exactly how past crashes formed, not from one event, but from an accumulated stress. That's why timing a crash by headlines and news always fails. The real signal is structural fragility. And by late 2026 and 2027, potentially the system is rolling into a window where leverage, debt, and slowing growth all collide. Point 2. How to position yourself to buy near the bottom. Now, here's the mistakes most people make. They think they can actually pick the bottom. Newsflash, it's not possible, but you can get somewhere near to it. Or do what I do, which is rebalance my portfolio as signs and signals of a crash are more prevalent. Because positioning is not about having the balls to press buy when the market crashes or knowing the exact day of the bottom. It's about preparation and structure. To buy near the bottom, 3 things must be true before the crash. You have liquidity, you have conviction, and you have rules. Liquidity means cash in a savings account or bonds that provide you with options and ability to buy when the market valuations are low and opportunities are abundant. In late cycle stages, cash is king, and that's why Warren Buffett currently holds $350 billion in cash and bonds. Also, disclaimer, I'm holding cash, but I'm also holding it in different savings accounts in different currencies as well, just to make sure that I'm diversifying my risk. Now, the second thing that must be true to buy near the bottom is conviction. This means you must already know what you want to buy. Specific businesses you understand with strong balance sheet, moats, margin of safety, cash flows, and profitability. Now, I share more about my framework for value stock analysis in the description down below. The last thing is rules. Now, rules mean having a valuation system or framework. You don't buy because prices fall. That's catching a falling knife. You buy because prices fall below intrinsic value, which gives you plenty of margins of safety. That's why people who survive crashes aren't reacting. They are executing their game plan. They've decided their actions months or years in advance when emotions are calm. That's also why I always emphasize having a checklist and a framework to follow instead of guessing or opinions. When fear is everywhere, you don't want to think. You want to follow rules where you already trust. Now, before we move on, this is exactly what I always share in my newsletter, along with my value stock investing checklist, the framework I use to filter what's actually worth buying when panic hits, and what I use to grow my portfolio to 400k in my early 20s. Link in description. Point 3. Why crashes transfer wealth, not destroy it? Now, this is the most important concept in the entire video, and that's because the biggest wealth transfer and generational wealth creation in history don't happen during bull markets. They happen during crashes, when assets are repriced far below their true value. This is how it works. Crashes do not destroy wealth. They force it to change hands. The factories don't disappear, the brands don't disappear, the productive assets remain. What disappears is the ownership by the unprepared. Crashes happen because people are forced to sell, not because assets are worthless. Forced selling comes from leverage, margin calls, refinancing risk, and emotional capitulation. When prices fall fast, the people who need liquidity sell to the people who have liquidity, and that's the transfer right there. Historically, this wealth moves from leveraged investors to cash-rich investors, from emotional sellers to disciplined buyers, from short-term speculators to long-term owners. This is why crashes widen inequality at first. Those who prepared accumulate assets cheaply. Those who didn't are forced out at the worst moment. Understanding this will flip your mindset completely. You stop asking, how bad will the crash be? And you start asking, am I positioned to benefit from this? And here's the cherry on top, and the blueprint used by the top 1% investor. Crashes don't happen randomly in time. They happened around cycle peaks. The 18-year real estate cycle, Ray Dalio's long-term debt cycles, and 150-year banner cycles all point to the same thing. 2026 and 2027 late cycle overvaluation leading to forced liquidation and crash. If you want to know more about how these cycles work, I share all about that in my newsletter. And also, if you want my stock analysis and stock picking system that I use to grow my 400k portfolio, check out both in the video description. If you want more videos like this, subscribe to my channel for more. Now, a question for you. Do you think the crash will come in 2026 or 2027 or later? Let me know in the comment section.